All right, so we're going to be running through the install and setup of CamTrax. First, we're going to install TestFlight. This is how Apple developers put out beta builds of their app. So we have that installed. We're going to go back to Safari. We're going to view CamTrax beta inside of TestFlight. We can allow or don't allow for notifications. Continue. Let's go back and click this again here. Yep, CamTrax install. Let's go ahead and close this out. We have CamTrax installed. Let's open that up. Let's go ahead and go allow for the camera and allow for the microphone. There's a note from the developer, which is me. Go ahead and press next. Start testing. You're going to need to join the Discord. There's a Blender add-on script that you will need to grab from there. So let's do that real quick. We'll join now. This will prompt you to join Discord. I'm already in the Discord, so I'm going to skip this part. If you don't have Discord on mobile, you can sign in Safari, create an account, and then later on your computer, you will be downloading the script for Blender. So let's go back to CamTrax. And here I have my desktop. I have a light source over here and just a little 3D printed object to cast a shadow so we can try and match that later on. So I'm going to go ahead and set a marker right here. This is where I'm going to want to put my CG object. And I'll go ahead and I'll press record. All right. And if we want to keep doing takes, we can keep doing takes. But for now, I'm going to search for my files. And now inside of your files, you'll have a CamTrax folder. And this is going to contain a few files. We have our video file. We have a segmentation file. We have a depth mask. We have an AR environment world map. We have, most importantly, our .trax file, .trx. So we are going to compress all this. And we are going to share that to our computer. However, you need to get it over to your computer. So I'll catch you over there. Okay, so now that we're on the computer, first we're going to open up Discord. If you don't have Discord installed, just go ahead and install that. You can use it inside a browser, but you're going to need an account, and you can just join through the CamTrax app link. First, when you join the Discord, you're going to have access to only rules. You just want to scroll down here and click this check mark. That will give you some roles, which gives you access to these other channels. All we're really interested in right now is the Blender add-on channel. We can hit the download button to get the Trax importer .py file. First, we're going to want to grab the .zip file that we sent over from our iPhone. So I'm going to extract all. Extract right here. And we have these files. Perfect. So now I'm going to open up Blender. I'm using 4.1. I have tested this in 4.2. So first, we're going to go to Edit, Preferences, add-ons on the left side here, and Install. I'm going to go to the Trax importer that we just downloaded. We're going to check to enable it. Here we can see CamTrax. And from here, we're going to go to File, Import, and we're going to select CamTrax packingdata.trax file. We're going to navigate to our zip file that we unzipped. We're going to open that up until we see our camera.trax file. And we can click inside of our scene and click numpad 0 to see our camera view. And as you can see, we have everything nice and tracked. I'm going to click to drag a second window over here. And now I can move outside of that camera view and see our scene in 3D. I'm going to add a cube. I have the cube selected, so I'm going to click S. I'll just scale it down quite a bit. G to move it on over. I'm going to click this gizmo over here and zoom in a bit and just click this down a bit more and make sure it's aligned with our ground plane. So I'm going to select it over here. It's actually, let's see. Oh, yes, this is our ground plane. So then we're just going to make sure that is aligned with that. You can change views here and just kind of move it so it's a little bit more in our shot all the time. We'll move it right over our tracker that we placed in the scene, right about there. And your tracking is set. So next is going to be matching lighting and just dialing in our render settings. Obviously, I'm working with just a cube. If you're going to be working with a more complex model, there's going to be a lot more work like materials and just, laying out your scene and the structure, probably some animations. So first, I'm going to our render setting, and we're going to switch from Eevee to cycles. And just a heads up, this is a much heavier renderer setting. So we want to switch to our GPU if we have a GPU. We're also going to go to Edit, Preferences again, and go into System to make sure for the cycles render devices you are using your GPU. I use CUDA, which I believe is best for NVIDIA cards. So from there, we're going to dial in our settings a little bit. In the viewport preview, I'm not working with much here, so I'm just going to dial this to half threshold for noise and all the way down to 50 samples. I'm totally okay with not having much detail. We're really just laying out a cube. For our render settings, again, until you are working on your very final render that you are 100% sure this is the final render, do not go anywhere really near these settings. These are just going to make your renders take very long. It will squeeze out all of those last drops of quality, but it will take very long. So I'm going to switch this to 0.1, switch this to probably like 500 at most. I don't like the denoiser inside of Blender, so I just unchecked that. So from here, I'm going to drag this over. I'm going to enable the viewport shading rendered mode. As you can see, we have no lights in the scene, so our cube is dark. So I'm going to add an area light, and I'm going to match where the light is in my room that I did that video. So it's about somewhere over there. So now what we want to do is we want to select this ground plane here, which in my case is my desk, but usually is the ground. And inside of here, we can find it. And then very important, we go into the object properties instead of visibility. Once you, if you do not see shadow catcher, that means you are set on Eevee for rendering. You need to be on cycles for shadow catcher to show up. So we want to check shadow catcher, show in renders. Then we're going to check camera, diffuse, and glossy for our ray visibility. Now you can see we have our shadow being cast on basically what is an invisible plane. It receives shadows and renders those shadows, but it does not render anything else. So now let's dial in our light just a little bit more.
2 hours later.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, there's that. So once you dialed in, you're going to go back to our, right underneath our render settings, we're going to go to our output settings. I've shot at HD, which is 1440p. We can, if we're still, working on rough drafts, we can even render this at 50% just to keep our render time even lower. Just test out our workflow, use proxy workflows, but render this out at 100%, 30 FPS, which is what we shot in. Render region and crop to render region. We don't need that in this case because the cube is basically always in the render region. But if we had a much larger object, it would only render inside of that region. Also good for keeping render times down. And inside of this output tab, we see we're already set up to save in the same zip folder that we unzipped with the same sequence number and -blender, -render. So we can use that as default. And FFmpeg will render a video. And I'm going to render out my animation. Currently, by default, this is set up to render the background out alongside your CG object in the foreground. If you want to change that, you can go into the compositing tab. Real quick, I'll just show, if you want to render just your object, you're going to drag this image all the way to the composite tab and the alpha all the way to the composite tab. And if you want to preview that, you can go into the viewer.